How to crate train a Yorkie. Knowing how to crate train your Yorkshire Terrier can prove beneficial in a number of ways. However, it's a process that one must handle with care. Before going into the video, you need to grab the free Dog Training Secrets Guide, in which we have disclosed the deepest dog training secrets that professional dog trainers don't want you to know about. These training secrets would help you have a well-behaved, super intelligent, smart, and obedient dog without spending hundreds of dollars. So make sure to check the first link in our description to the free video series guide. Now let's get into today's video. Unfortunately, there's a wealth of misinformation about crate training dogs. For many, the practice can often be seen as cruel and barbaric and anthropomorphic way to limit your pup's freedom. However, it must be said that those who subscribe to this view have a shallow understanding at best of what crate training really is. For this reason, it's important to find out the truth about crate training and how it can benefit your Yorkshire Terrier. If you don't know where to start, we've got you covered. In this video, we'll go over the important information you should know about crate training your Yorkie. What's more, we'll even include a guide on why crate training our puppy is so important. In doing so, we'll dispel some common myths around the practice so that you can implement it without concern. Are you ready to find out all there is to know about crate training your Yorkshire Terrier? Let's get started. Misconceptions about crate training your Yorkshire Terrier. First and foremost, let's start with the common misconceptions that exist around the practice. Without fully understanding what crate training is and why it's so important, it might be that you lose the patience to continue the practice. You may also find yourself being criticized by family and friends who don't understand the true purpose and value of crate training. For this reason, consider the following points carefully so that you can practice your crate training with no regret. Crate training is not abuse. The first thing that we'd like to note is that crate training is not abuse. Though it can be easy to think of crate training as a way to limit your dog's freedom, it couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that crate training is a way to make your dog feel more comfortable, not less. What's more, it can have several health and safety benefits to your dog and to others in the long run. What's more, there's a difference between crate training your dog and locking him in a crate all day. The latter activity cannot truly be called crate training, as the practice's goal is not to keep your dog eternally pinned up. Instead, you're looking to create a convenient space where your dog feels safe and one that will have benefits for you, too. Dogs don't like crates. While this may be true for some dogs, the reality is that if you have your dog properly crate trained, he can start to see his crate as somewhere he feels safe. But for this to happen, you'll need to make sure that you're doing everything right. What's more, you'll need to ensure that you have a crate that allows your dog to feel comfortable, not one that's going to make him feel trapped. It's important to keep in mind that crate training isn't inherently bad. That's why it's so important that you teach your dog how to be comfortable in a crate from an early age. As we'll see, this has several benefits for your dog in the long run. Benefits of crate training. We still plan on telling you how to crate training your Yorkshire Terrier, but we want to go over a few of the most important benefits first. If you're still not convinced that crate training is for you, consider the following information below. It's great for travel. If you haven't crate trained your dog, traveling may become unnecessarily difficult. From accidents to car sickness, your dog may make your travels much harder than they have to be. You can avoid these problems with the right crate training. Here, you'll have your dog confined not to make a mess in your car. And if you've properly crate trained him, you won't have to worry about him feeling uncomfortable. Instead, he'll likely feel more comfortable and not as scared as he'll be in a place that he's familiar with. By bringing his crate, you can help reassure him that everything is going to be okay despite the fact that he's in a rapidly changing environment. The vet will crate them. If your dog ever has to stay overnight with the vet, he's going to get crated. And if he's not used to that, it can cause much more anxiety than it has to. For this reason, you're going to want to make sure that your dog is crate trained so that he doesn't have to go through emotional turmoil later. By having your Yorkshire Terrier crate trained from an early age, you can make sure that they'll be okay when they have to be crated later. Because here's the thing, if your pup is sick at the vet, the last thing you want to do is make them feel even worse by being crated for the first time. It helps with calming them down. Yorkies are naturally hyper dogs, and many new owners find it difficult to keep them under control. This proves especially true when guests come around, as they like to greet new people. This can put a damper on your company. If you need a way to keep your dog calm, crate training is your friend. If you know that you have company over, you'll be able to crate your dog until they get used to the new company. This will allow them to calm down in a space where they feel safe and get acclimated to your guests. In this way, They won't be too hyper when you bring someone over. This can make your visits much more enjoyable for you and your guest as well as your dog. Because they'll remain calm throughout the experience, their overall emotional state will be better. Safety. In the unfortunate event that your Yorkie suffers an injury, you're going to want to make sure that they get enough rest. This means keeping them from engaging in activities that can ultimately hurt them again. This is especially important because Yorkies have weaker joints than other dogs. For this reason, you're going to want to make sure that they're not in a position to get hurt when you're not around. If you're not at home for portions of the day, this is another consideration that you're going to want to make. It's possible that your dog can roam around and get injured during the day. For example, they may eat something that they're not supposed to and you won't know until you get home hours later. Sometimes, this may be too late. For this reason, you must have safety measures in place such as crate training to keep your Yorkie safe while you're gone. How to crate train your Yorkie. With all this being said, it's time to look at how you can effectively crate train your Yorkshire Terrier. Below, we'll go over what you need to know to get started with this potentially life-saving practice. Keep this information in mind as you begin to crate train your Yorkie. And remember that no matter how long it takes, this is a process that you're going to want to master for your pup's safety. Introduce your Yorkie to the crate. The first step in getting your Yorkie crate trained is introducing them to the crate. Here is where you'll first let them walk around and get familiar with it. At this point, you're not going to want to lock them up. Give them time to get used to it and formulate their own understanding of it. This first step is crucial, as you don't want to thrust your Yorkie into a new environment. By giving them time to understand better what is going on, you'll make sure that they have less anxiety about the process moving forward. Still, you'll want to take other steps to make sure that they get familiar with the crate. As you'll see, you won't just thrust them in there overnight and have them get used to it. Instead, you want to make sure that it's a pleasant experience so that they feel comfortable and safe in their crate. Start feeding them in their crate. One of the best ways to do this is to start feeding them in their crates. By doing this, you'll make sure that they start to associate the crate with positive experiences. In the long run, this will familiarize them with the crate, making them feel safer. Your dog may actually prefer eating in their crate, as well, as they'll be better able to protect and guard their food. You'll want to do this until your dog seems comfortable in the crate. Then, you'll want to move on to the next step. Start crating your dog for short periods. Next, you'll want to start crating your dog for short periods of time. The amount of time that you put them in the crate should vary with their age, with older dogs being crated longer. You may choose to keep the crate near you so that your dog doesn't feel too anxious. It will also give you the ability to calm them down if they are suffering any emotional distress. In this way, you can start building your dog's tolerance to crate training. Over time, they'll begin to grow less and less anxious and start to see the crate as somewhere they feel safe. Increase crating times. Now, you'll want to start gradually increasing the amount of time that you have your dog crated. Eventually, this will mean that you want to practice crating your dog overnight. At first, this may seem like a long time, so you may want to keep your Yorkie close to you. Remember that they're very people-friendly, and they crave your attention. If they feel as though you're isolating them, they may suffer from emotional distress. For this reason, make sure that the first few nights that you crate them that you keep them nearby. This will allow you to monitor them to make sure that they're okay. In this way, you can let them out if the crating doesn't go well. You'll need to be patient during this step, as it might take some time before your dog is fully adjusted. Once he is, however, you'll be able to start crating him for increased safety and convenience. And remember, the goal of crating her isn't to limit your dog's freedom. Sometimes it's good to remember that a caring owner knows best, and it's good to be able to protect your dog. Whether you're looking to keep them from eating something they shouldn't or from wandering off during the day, crating can be a great way to protect your pup. By increasing the amount of time that they're in their crate, you can increase their comfort. But remember, you don't want to make your dog live in a crate. At the end of the day, this will verge on the abuse that many who oppose crating rightfully complain of. Remember to give your dog plenty of time outside of the crate and make sure they're getting the proper exercise. What's more, You'll want to keep your dog's crate clean, as they may have accidents inside. You want to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible in their crates and that they don't have to be in there for the majority of the day. By making sure that you limit your crating to times only when necessary, you can keep your dog happy and healthy. If you find that you are gone too much and kept your dog crated for too long, you might want to reconsider your decision to raise a Yorkie. Keep this guide in mind as you start to crate train your Yorkie for the best results. And don't forget to check out the free video series that teaches the quick and easy way to an obedient dog, so make sure to get yours by clicking the first link in the description. Thank you for watching.